Can he drive in field? He can. Gives it to Jacob Ramsey. He can reach it, and that is a beautiful touch. He's going to look inside for Rodrigo. Going to try and look for Popescu on the left-hand side. I find him. Popescu to strike. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of my FIFA 23 career mode with Leeds United Football Club. And as you can see, first game up is the FA Cup replay that we've got against Southampton, having drawn against them last time out. But just before we head over to that, just want to quickly talk you through the Premier League table. Of course, we are 14th after a series of pretty poor results, both across December and January. And we find ourselves being clawed into a relegation battle. We now only sit 8 points above Brentford in 18th. So some work to be done for sure in this episode. So if I head over to the calendar, we can check out the games we've got to play. You can see we've got Southampton at home in the Cup, which I think I will sim that game. We've got a tough game away at United, home game against Aston Villa, and another away game this time against Leicester City. So I've got to play all the Premier League games, and I'm going to sim the Southampton game. And obviously the Premier League is our priority, so as you can see for this FA Cup replay, I have made some changes, the likes of Bamford, Harrison, Stuart Dallas, Luca Nets, Cooper, Coke, all coming in. And to be expected, it didn't really make too much of a difference. We are out of the FA Cup. It's heartbreak, an 89th minute winner for Southampton. That is gutting, but to be honest, looking at our side, it looks pretty bare, so clearly we didn't really play particularly well. But out of the FA Cup, that means all priority onto the Premier League. And so on to game number 2 it is in this episode. And of course, it is an away game against Manchester United. Of course, we beat them 3-0 earlier on in this season at Ellen Road. I'll be completely honest, I'm not really expecting that result again today based on our current vein of form and also the fact that United are now top of the table. And of course, here is our starting 11. You can see the return of many of my first team players. The likes of Meslier is in goal, Christensen, Llorente, Struijk and Firpo at the back. Fagioli and Ramsey in central midfield, Aronson, Dan James, Popescu, and of course leading the line is Gelhardt. As for United, they've got De Gea, Ricardo Pereira, so a right back I bought for my Tottenham FIFA 22 career mode, for any of you who were watching that. He was a decent right back for me, to be fair. He's now gone to Manchester United. Martinez, Savic, new, I think he came in January as well to them. Alphonso Davies, I didn't realise they'd bought him, to be fair. What a signing he is for them. Fred, Casemiro, Anthony, Sancho, Bruno Fernandes, and of course Cristiano Ronaldo. So yeah, no surprise that United now find themselves top of the table with that team. Let's see if we can get a result. Ricardo Pereira on the right-hand side. Goes down the line to Anthony. Infield to Ronaldo. Gets it back, though. He goes down this right-hand side. Junior Firpo trying to make chase, but he can't quite get hold of him. Lays it back into Ronaldo. Bruno Fernandes off the shins, I think it was, of Llorente. And it goes out for the first corner of the game. First corner to Manchester United. Looks like they're going to go short here. They do go short to Jadon Sancho. But Popescu with a huge challenge. And he's got the pace as well to drive past Bruno Fernandes. So I'm going to try and chip this one over. I think Gelhardt just checked his run. He did, and he's definitely not going to outpace Alphonso Davies. Tries to play it over the top to Sancho. Christensen read it, though. Good defending from him. It's been a pretty cagey, it's been a pretty cagey opening 20 minutes. But what on earth is going on? My goodness, we get away with one there. Some pretty slack defending all over the place. Just as I was saying that Christian got there ahead of Sancho, he then made a woeful decision to pass that in. And I'm talking as if I'm not controlling these players. I am controlling the players, obviously, but I would rather blame them than blame myself. United now have a corner. Lay it out to Sancho, and Llorente is there to make the block, and we are away. Aronson going to try and set Gelhardt away. I do not. Gets it back from Bruno Fernandes. He's got it once again. Bruno Fernandes down this right-hand side. Firpo got in the way there. Meslier, great save from him. Junior Firpo just ran. What is he doing? What on earth is he doing there? Bruno Fernandes with a great strike, and it's a great save from Meslier. And yeah, I don't really know what on earth Junior Firpo was doing. Firpo, oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely ball into the path of Popescu. Can he drive in field? He can. Gives it to Jacob Ramsey. That is way over the bar and wide. It's a big opportunity, and it's a big opportunity wasted there. Oh my word. What on earth is De Gea doing? And what on earth are we doing? It's a brilliant opportunity, and I've just fired it straight at the goalkeeper. Ronaldo, nice little footwork from him. Lays it back off to Davies. Davies has the beating of Struijk there. Christensen in the middle of the park. And it's Bruno Fernandes who puts United in the lead here. It's 1-0 Manchester United at Old Trafford. And my defence was all over the shop. It was a beautiful ball over the top from Ronaldo into the path of Davies. And I don't know what on earth Street was doing. I don't know then what Christensen was doing. Didn't close him down in time. And they laid it off perfectly to Fernandes, who was not going to miss from there. It's 1-0 Manchester United. He tries to turn. I think Fred is chasing him down. Goes out wide to Popescu. Plays it back to Ramsey. Possibly could have played that into Aronson, but I chose Dallas instead. Dan James looks for Aronson now. And it's straight at De Gea. That's another big opportunity. Llorente. Oh, that's poor from Llorente. That is very, very poor and slack defending. But fortunately, Christensen is there. He's not there. Ronaldo still has it. No one's in there. And Bruno Fernandes is. Bruno Fernandes sticks it in the back of the net after more calamitous defending from us at the back. I don't know what on earth was going on. Firstly, it was Llorente with just a total lack of composure and poor decision making. And then just when I thought Christensen was going to get back in time, he ends up then getting out-muscled by Ronaldo. I don't know what he was doing. Ronaldo then passes it across to Bruno Fernandes, who again, unmarked in acres of space and was not going to miss from close range. United lead 2-0. United are everywhere at the moment. We can't seem to find any gaps. And then when we do find a gap, we don't take it. But here is a gap for Anthony here down this right-hand side. Checks inside. It's 3-0. And that is that. What a fantastic piece of play from Anthony there. It was a beautiful ball over the top to him, and he made no mistake. Cut inside from Firpo, who's had a very, very poor game, and he just drilled it past the goalkeeper. Left Meslier with absolutely no chance. It's a great piece of play from him, and surely now it's game over here at Old Trafford. 15 minutes left in this game, and to be completely honest, we don't really look like scoring. United, if anything, look like they're going to grab a fourth here. And they have it now with Ronaldo out wide to Sancho. And he still has it again back from Fernandes. Sancho drives into the penalty area. And I thought Llorente had got the block on it. And it just came straight back out to Sancho, who lashed it into the back of the net. And just as I was talking about United potentially getting a fourth, they go ahead and they get a fourth. It's poor defending. Nice build-up play. I thought I'd done enough here, to be fair. I thought I'd blocked the shot off. And I thought he'd gain control of it. Clearly he hadn't. Sancho smashes it in. 4-0. He's been very, very quiet today, has Popescu. And now he gives it to Stuart Dallas. Tries to turn, goes infield to Dan James. He looks for Rodrigo, straight at De Gea. Into Ramsey, and I'm pretty sure these are going to be the last passes of the game. They are. It's 4-0 here at Old Trafford. United get revenge from the earlier 3-0 win at Elland Road. And it's a game I didn't really expect to win, but I was hoping I wouldn't get battered 4-0 as we were. Carved out some decent opportunities in the first half. We didn't take them. We live to regret it. 4-0 here. We move on to the next game. And so it is on to game number 3 here in this episode. And of course it is a home game against Aston Villa. Now, this is a game we need to get a result from. I feel like I'm saying this about every single game we play so far, but this is a game we actually can get a decent result from. I wasn't expecting one against United. I am expecting at least a point here, and it is at least a point or 3 points that we so desperately need. And just before we kick off, we'll have a quick look at the lineup, and as you can see, pretty much an unchanged team for me. The only change really is Rodrigo comes in to start ahead of Aronson. And fortunately, Fagioli did not pick up any serious injury. I think it was just a knock, and I didn't get any email about it. So, yeah, really, really happy about that. Otherwise, we would have been in serious trouble. As for Villa, a very, very strong Villa side. You can go through, you can see they have numerous players rated 80. But I still think it's a game we can definitely get a result from. Martial out to Majuki on this right-hand side. He checks inside for an unmarked Kamara. Throws it into Martial. And just as I was saying, I wanted to get a decent result. We go and concede inside the first 6 minutes. Martial lashes it home past my goalkeeper. After Kamara, I think their Cam found himself in acres of space once again in the centre of midfield. And he's easily able to pass the ball through to Martial. And annoyingly, we are down by 1 early on in this game. Dan James with the interception. Fagioli now going to look for the ball over the top to Popescu. Can he reach it? He can reach it, and that is a beautiful touch. He's going to look inside for Rodrigo. And that is a great save from Martinez. It's our best chance of the game so far. And it's a really, really nicely worked opportunity there. Popescu with a beautiful touch. Check back into Rodrigo. Forced a very smart save from Martinez. We have a corner here. Dan James to try and whip this one into the penalty spot. He does. Aston Villa get it clear, only as far as Ramsey. He goes back to Dan James. It's intercepted and Villa are away. Llorente. Oh, he's all over the shop. And it's a cheap one. It's such a cheap one to give away. But we do give it away. Once again, we didn't learn the lesson from United. And once again, it's really slack defending at the back from Llorente. And Leon Bailey powers it home for Villa's second goal of the game. I just don't know what's going on at the moment. The vein of form we are on is absolutely horrendous. I mean, there's no stopping that shot. It's a great shot. It's a great goal. But it's so poor defensively once again. Jacob Ramsey into Fagioli. He looks for Rodrigo. He finds Gerhard. Gerhard finds Fagioli. Oh, my goodness. Fagioli into Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey looking down the left-hand side for Popescu. And that is a great goal. And it's a brilliant way to start off this second half. Lovely work there between Ramsey and Popescu on the left-hand side. I have actually switched to a 4-3-3 to start this half off. And I've allowed Jacob Ramsey and Fagioli just to push up in central midfield. Oh, that's a nice ball out wide onto the right-hand side to Mandzukic. He's going to cut back into the centre. Gives it to Martial. Back to Buendia. And that's a good save from Meslier. Decent strike from Buendia from distance, to be fair. I wasn't expecting that. Aston Villa have a corner. Looks like they're going to go short here. They do go short. It's Leon Bailey to pick this up. Stuart Dallas can't do anything with it. And it's back to Bailey. Was he offside? No, clearly not. Still onside. And I thought Junior Firpo was going to be able to get the touch. And he didn't. Meslier did, though. Goes out for another Villa corner. He finds Gerhard. Gerhard looking for Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey was there. But Lucadinha was there also. The pass was on to Dan James on the right-hand side. And he just couldn't find it. And now Martial with a beautiful ball into Buendia. They've carved our defence open. Buendia. It's 3-1 here to Aston Villa. Just as we were getting a foothold back into the game. And that are the fine margins in the Premier League. From one end to the other, Aston Villa break quickly and they make no mistake from inside our penalty area. It's a beautiful ball from Martial, cuts our defence in half. Buendia drives into the area. It's 3-1. Struijk into Dallas. Dallas, that's poor from him. It's just been a common theme throughout this game. We're just giving the ball away so slowly. My word, I thought I was just going to dip over the head of my goalkeeper. Every single ball we seem to play at the moment is just terrible. Fagioli into the feet of Bamford. Tries to play in Dan James on the right-hand side. Dan James has the pace, but there's no one in there apart from Popescu. And Popescu just can't get there in time. It's desperate defending from Villa, but it's enough to get the ball away. Bamford to strike from distance. And it's straight into the hands of Martinez. I can try and whip a ball in, but it goes straight to Kamara. And Aston Villa will get the 3 points here. They do. The referee blows his whistle. It's a disappointing 3-1 loss at Ellen Road. It's another loss in the Premier League. And game by game, we are being dragged into the relegation fight. And so it's on to the final game of the episode. And it is, of course, an away game against Leicester City at the King Power Stadium. And I feel like I'm saying this every single episode, every single game. But it is another game we absolutely must get a result from. And by result, I mean a win. We have to win. Otherwise, we are at serious risk of being dragged into the relegation zone. And you'll see the biggest change for this game against Leicester City is that I've switched formation. I've switched to a 4-3-3. And I've gone to the formation that I went to in the second half against Aston Villa. And you'll see the main change is that Robin Koch comes in the central defensive midfield role. Normally plays at centre-back, but he can play in this position on FIFA. So I've put him there in place of Stuart Dallas, who I don't think was particularly good when he came on as a substitute. But apart from that, it's same old, as, to be honest, I don't really have the depth to be able to rotate much. And as for Leicester, obviously they've gone a 4-5-1. And it looks like Jamie Vardy's going to be quite isolated up front. But I don't really care because for me, I need to get on the score sheet and I need to get a win. Pratt, that's a beautiful ball through to Jamie Vardy. He's got the pace. And Meslier with a big save. Our defence badly overrun with the pace of Jamie Vardy. And I definitely think in the summer transfer window, I'm going to have to try and see if I can invest in a more pacey centre-back because we just get done every single time with the ball through because our defenders are so very slow. But here we have Leicester Attacking once again, Maddison into Vardy. It's a weak shot to Meslier, and Barnes is there. Unfortunately, well, it's offside. I was going to say we just managed to get it away, but Harvey Barnes offside. Firpo into the feet of Fagioli. Fagioli looks for Firpo again. Firpo back to Fagioli. Can he get it back to Firpo? He can. Firpo driving into the penalty area. I'm going to look inside. There's no one inside. I thought Dan James was going to be able to reach it at the back post, but the ball was not strong enough. But we pick it back up in central midfield with Fagioli. Into Cope, back to Fagioli. And that is so poor. Leicester get it away, but fortunately we have it. No, we don't. Yes, we do. Oh, my word. Every single pass from both teams is going to the opposition. What is going on? This is horrendous stuff from both teams. It's just awful. And Jamie Vardy eventually manages to get control of the ball. He gives it back to Ramsey. Ramsey turns, gives it to Coke, who's driving through the middle. I'm going to try and look for Popescu on the left-hand side. I find him. Popescu to strike. And it's a great save from Ward. It's our best opportunity of the game so far. I thought Popescu was going to be able to bend that one round him, but he just wasn't able to. It's a corner here, which Dan James is going to take. He's going to try and whip this one in to the penalty spot. Llorente is there with a header with the back of his head. It's a bit of an unorthodox header, but Ward collects fairly easily. Into Albrighton. Tielemans now has it. Beautiful lofted ball right over the top to Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes plays it into Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy with the strike straight at Meslier. Tielemans. Albrighton's tackled by Fagioli. Into the feet of Gerhard. I'm going to try and look out wide for Dan James. I find Dan James. He's going to go inside for Jacob Ramsey. And Jacob Ramsey so close to putting us 1-0 up. We've had two fantastic opportunities. And Jacob Ramsey just couldn't take it there. I found Jacob Ramsey does tend to get himself in some very good positions. And he just can't find the finish. This has happened on several games. I'm hoping, as the seasons progress, his finishing will improve. But Coke has it now. Going to try and look down the right-hand side to Dan James. It's intercepted. Christensen trying to find... I was trying to find Dan James, but he decides just to... run over the ball and give it to Jacob Ramsey instead. Jacob Ramsey finds Dan James. I'm going to strike it straight at the Leicester defender. And there's no one in the centre of midfield for me. And Leicester can now break. Vardy with the ball over the top to Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes checks back inside to Pratt, to Maddison. Out wide to Albrighton, to Pratt. Lovely pass into Vardy with the power shot. And it's 1-0 Leicester City. As soon as I saw he was winding up for the power shot, I knew it was only a matter of time before it went in the back of the net. And it did go straight into the back of the net. Keeper with no chance. It's another soft goal that we give away. And it's another time we find ourselves down. It's Leicester 1, Leeds 0. Into Popescu on the left-hand side. Popescu gives the ball away. Every single time we seem to be giving the ball away. It's just so simple for Leicester to win it back from us. Tielemans into Harvey Barnes. Where is Jamie Vardy? My defence. What are my defence doing? It's the AI switching once again, driving me up the wall. Jamie Vardy with an easy goal that gives Leicester a 2-goal cushion here. It's poor goalkeeping from Meslier. It's one that he should really be getting a hand to. Look at my two central defenders. I'm trying to switch between the two of them and they just don't do anything. It ends up switching between each one. They run the wrong way. It's more horrendous defending. It's more goals for Leicester. It's 2-0. Maddison into Tielemans, into Vardy. Pratt out wide to Harvey Barnes. Looks like he's going to try and check inside. Christensen is there to try and block him off, but he still has the ball. Lays it into Pratt. Lays it off to Tielemans. Tielemans now strikes from distance. My word. What an unbelievable strike from Tielemans from distance. And grazes the top of my bar. Was it the bar or it was the post? It was the post, actually. I thought it was Tielemans who picked it up earlier. It wasn't. It was Maddison. He laid it off to Tielemans. Tielemans struck. Unfortunately for us, it's still 2-0. Into Jamie Vardy again. Leicester still maintaining the ball, looking, probing for the third. Vardy into Ndidi, back to Vardy. We're all over the shop. And fortunately for me, that power shot was straight at Meslier. Otherwise, that was going straight into the back of the net. Leicester pressing so high though. Stuart Dallas. Oh, it's poor ball. It's a poor ball. We're making angles, to be fair there. It's just the passing has been so poor from Leeds all season, to be completely honest. Maddison, it's 3. No, it's not. I obviously prepared myself for 3. Unfortunately, Meslier gets a hand to it. And Tielemans is going to get the corner. I think it's going to be the last opportunity of the game. Swings it in. It's Dan James off the line. Surely, referee, blow your whistle. Tielemans, Evans to Maddison, to Tielemans again. Referee, please blow your whistle. He does. I knew they were going to... Well, they were very close to scoring a third there. I just wanted him to blow his whistle. He did. Put me out of my misery. It's game over here at the King Power Stadium. It's another loss this episode. And we find ourselves definitely being dragged into a relegation fight. And that is that for the end of this episode. And I'm sorry, folks, but in terms of results, it's been a pretty dire episode. We've lost back-to-back games once again. Every single game in this episode we've lost. And, yeah, we now find ourselves in 15th. And we are now only 5 points above the relegation zone. Dangerous times here for Leeds United with only 11 games left to play. We need to somehow find some form. We do have several players out, and I'm hoping, I'm praying to the gods that we can get them back as soon as possible, because we are missing them and we are really, really struggling with form. If I go up to the top of the table, you see United are still top, City second, Liverpool third, Chelsea fourth, Spurs making up the top 5, and Arsenal find themselves all the way down in 9th. But for us, 15th, and we are in dire straits at the moment. Let's head over to the calendar and let's see what we've got coming up in the episode tomorrow as we head over to March. And at the moment, we've actually only got 2 games happening in March, surprisingly. We've got a home game against Palace and another home game against Brighton. So I'm assuming maybe that's down to the international break. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it looks like we've got plenty of games in April. So what I might do is I might end up playing Crystal Palace, Brighton, and also maybe 1 or 2 games in April. Let's see how we get on. But that is that for the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'm very, very sorry we couldn't get any wins. I'm really, really trying my best. But if you have enjoyed this episode and if you are enjoying the series, please feel free to like and subscribe. It will do the channel a world of good. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.